Got my coffee now. Walking through Kiev. That looks fun to be one of those little kids riding through the snow on those sleds. That's like a mode of transportation for the children here. I see it common where the parent pulls the kid on the little disc instead of the kid walking in the snow. It's probably a pretty good idea though, because it's pretty difficult walking in the snow. It's well, the snow is okay, but a lot of times ice falls from the sky and then it's like a skating rink and it's nearly impossible to walk. So in those situations, I don't see how a child could navigate. Really beautiful Orthodox Christian church. The religion of Ukrainian, Belarusian, and Russian people is Orthodox Christian. And this brings up something very interesting that I have learned in my travels, is the importance of race and religion, the extreme importance of race and religion. This is something that you know, we are wrongfully taught doesn't matter in Western countries, which is so foolish. But if you've never been lived in other places where it's not that way, then I mean, why would you think any other way if that's what you've been taught? But every country that I've been to that shares a race and a religion, the people have a unity that in America we don't have, in Western countries we don't have, and it's special and you can feel it. The Roman Catholics in the Philippines, the Buddhists in Thailand, the Orthodox Christians with Slavics, etc. Every race who shares a religion has a special bond among their culture, where the people, even if they, you know, a lot of them in all those countries, they won't be especially practicing, or people who go to temple or go to church all the time, but because of their race they proclaim to be members of that religion. That's what that race is that religion, and it gives them a shared set of values and a set of unity of those people, that race, those people, that brings them together and makes them not be able to be torn apart. It's a very special thing. You know, separate races living together is not natural. The reason why there are divisions of races, why people look different races look different, is because they did not live with other races for extended periods of time. They were mating only with their group of people that were in their immediate vicinity, without other people coming in and mating with those groups. And so then you get these differences. You know, that the reason why there are races is because throughout human history it has not been natural for separate races to live amongst each other. This is a very, very new thing, and it's something that we're taught to think is just totally normal. Also, there are brain differences between the races, just as there are physical differences between the races. You know, we see things on the outside where one race, you know, has a different skin color, or has different shaped noses, has different whatever physical characteristics, athletic characteristics, whatever talents that they have. And it's the exact same with the brain. The brain is the most important organ in the human. It's what makes the human survive, because it's definitely not our physical characteristics that make us survive against the other animals. It's definitely the brain. And so to say that the brain of different races did not evolve differently while the physical characteristics did is absolutely absurd. So the importance of race and the importance of religion is one of the most striking and powerful things that I have learned through my worldwide travels, is that race and religion are one of the absolutely most important things in life, which is so different than what, you know, they've been trying to teach us, especially white people, you know, especially teach white people, because the establishment has a goal to destroy white people, to destroy our race. And so they want to teach us that, you know, our race isn't important, and race is nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a pigmentation of your skin, which is complete bullshit. And you know, I've learned that so clearly through my experiences traveling and living among other cultures. I'm telling you guys, this has been the most priceless experience since 2014, living around the world in all these different countries with all these foreign people who are different from me. It's, I'm never gonna forget it. Here's the biggest university in Kiev, in Ukraine. Kievsky Nationalny Universitet Taras Shevchenko. Taras Shevchenko. It's that guy over there. If you see him, big statue. I'll walk up closer to him in a minute, but keep showing you the big red university right now. Does that look Soviet or what? You know, if it had a big red Soviet star on it. You know, a lot of their stuff they've repainted blue and yellow because that's the national colors here, but they seem to like this one red. The red star, the red army. They're cool with this one, leaving it red, not cancel culture in it. Not a lot of students here though, because you know, everybody's doing remote learning right now. You know, it's 2021. But yeah, here is Taras Shevchenko, the poet that the university is named after. Well, here's Kreshatik Street. This is the main walking street, or the central street in the center of Kiev, the capital of Ukraine. Those buildings right there are like the parliament buildings where they do government stuff. There's always a lot of protests and camping out there. There's some tents in front of it right now, and people with flags, they never go away. Pretty funny. But yeah, so now it's cold and it's not as popular, of course, to be outside. But back when I first got here in October, this street was totally packed all the time. Really packed, and kind of a fun street to be on too, because people were kind of social on it. One of the things about Ukrainians especially, but Russian, Slavic people in general, is that they are not afraid to talk to strangers. It is not taboo in their culture to speak to people you don't know. So you can walk up to people on the street and start talking to them if you don't know them, and that's considered normal. I get approached by people asking me questions or trying to talk to me, even now in the winter, you know, on a daily basis when I go outside. Maidan Square, and it's probably the most famous spot in Kiev, or in Ukraine in general, where it's like people know this spot. This is where they had their civil war in 2014, so they actually had a battle right here. Yeah, very famous spot in Ukraine. There's a big clock tower right here. This is where I came on New Year's Eve. I was here for the New Year's Eve countdown, which was really fun because there was that big clock, and me and my friend went to this place called Drunk Cherry near here. And then we were here for the New Year's Eve countdown. That was fun. Again, the reason why there's like all this riot police here and stuff and flags and everything is because there's a lot of protests going on. You know, it's all over the world. There's a lot of protests going on, which is part of the plan for the Great Reset, which is a transformation of society planned by the World Economic Forum and the United Nations, where they, you know, it's supposed to be a fusion of the physical and the digital identity. So that's why they're doing like all the COVID lockdowns and everything, is to prepare you through shock therapy to accept this Great Reset, where, you know, eventually they're gonna have microchips in you and stuff like that. It seems like science fiction, but it's not. It's a very written plan that, if, you know, the people who doubt that that's what's happening, if they would just look at the documents that have been written and signed by the governments of every country that they're doing this plan, and they'd see that there's nothing conspiratorial about it at all. It's just a fact. It's really crazy. Anyways, I'm gonna walk up here so we can look around a little bit. You know, I've had a girlfriend while I've been here the whole time. While I've been here in Ukraine. You know, one of the kind of sad parts about being like a traveler is when you have to leave these nice girls that you meet in these other countries. The culture of every different country, especially these countries that aren't the richest countries, the women all have their own unique feminine charm and their own. It's nice to be with them. Nice to be with them. I think feminine charm is probably the best word that I can come up with, but you know, and so it's great getting to have relationships with them and experience that. But at the same time, you know, being a traveler, then you have to leave them, and sometimes that can be pretty sad. I remember when I was in Vietnam, when I was living in Vietnam, when I had to leave my girlfriend there in Vietnam, and I remember I was getting ready. I was just about to get in my taxi to go to the airport when I had my suitcase, and she drove up on her motorbike, and she said, "Daniel," and I said, "Hi, Lan. I wasn't expecting to see you. And she said, take this so you remember me. And she gave me this keychain with her name on it. And man, that almost broke my heart. Yeah, so it reminded me of that scene in Rambo where Rambo's Vietnamese girlfriend gets shot and dies or something. I don't know why it reminded me of that, but it did. So, but anyways, yeah, I've had a really nice girlfriend while I've been here in Ukraine. So I like Ukrainian women. I think they're quality women. Это аптека гормоних препаратив. So it's the pharmacy of hormonal preparations. It's a good place to get testosterone and growth hormone.